Okay, you might be able to see that there is a mould line towards the bottom of the blade on this power claw. The only way I've been able to find mould lines is to look at very smooth surfaces on the model, because the backstory of the character is he was hit by a melter blast, which is some kind of nuclear grenade or something, and he's very chewed up. He's got that kind of biomechanical zombie look. And it's a very clean cast. There's the odd spur here and there, and the odd bit of pitting, but the only mould lines I've found so far are on the individual blades of the fingers. So what you do is you identify where it is, and you just drag your knife very carefully along the mould line to remove it. And you won't remove it all in one go, or if you do, that means you're pressing too hard and you stand a chance of stabbing yourself. So just, repeated over and over. Just that gets the bulk of it done, and it also takes the layer of mould release off, so you can see the lines a bit more clearly. There's another one on his index finger. So just remove that there. Then you move on to your file. Flat's a bit big, so I would use the triangular one, and just file it down. And then you repeat the process ad infinitum. Until you've got most of it off, and then we switch to another tool, which would be sandpaper. I can only find around my local area 400 grit, which is adequate. But if you can, you want to be using 600 grit and higher. The really fine stuff they use for I don't know, smoothing diamonds or whatever.
Crystal work.
Yeah, really fine stuff. You can get emery boards, diamond emery boards, that are really fine.
No, I think you can get those at Boots or most kind of women's supply stockists.
Definitely, yeah, they're very good. But 400 will be adequate once it gets the primer on it. But if you want that perfect finish, definitely go for the 600 and higher. Okay, we've got some little spurs at the end here. Just tiny little spurs. So you want to match your surface and just snip them off with the knife. Okay, if you have a look here, you can see where it was connected to the sprue where I've snipped it off. It's left a little bit of a tag. That you're probably best to file that flat, but if you actually have a look at it, if we go to dry assemble our model, if we pop his arm on, the tubes connect to that little point in his near his backpack. You can't actually see the tag, so as it's not a Golden Demon model, you know, as it's just an army model, I'm just going to file that a bit smoother and leave it. It's essentially more of the same. You go to your next piece of that would be this ridiculously small thumb.
That is by far the smallest model piece. I mean, when I saw it, I thought it was just a piece of metal that had fallen out the back.
Like a spur or sprue or something.
Yeah. But then again, you know what my modelling technique's like outside of 3D, so...
Yeah, you should appreciate that, mate.
Oh, I do.
I've seen millions of pieces like that on your Ultimax, mate.
Yeah, Ultimax, the Widowmaker.
It's certainly made a widow out of my PC.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Well, hopefully this won't make a widow out of lots of modellers here. We're going to get some really nice pieces, hopefully, from the people watching these videos.
I hope so too. We can cover, you know, some tips on photography and put some links on the forum to online tutorials and
absolutely
get them posting their work. If you can see here, there's a mould line running across the top of that canister underneath this iron halo style thing. So we'll have to work on that. On a curved surface, you use your round. Because it's got a very narrow contact point, it won't flatten the surface out, whereas if you use a flat file, it will flatten the rounded surface out. So rather than trying to get the scalpel blade in there, and I'd like to apologise in advance for the awkwardness of my work. I generally work like here, very very close up, so this is a new experience for me, so thank you very much for your patience. Just gently running the file over the area.
You could probably do with a jeweler's loop for this kind of thing, really.
Yeah, there are little tools like that you can get. I think they're called riffles as well. You can get riffles, and one of the problems is, say on spears that's tied with twine, there's usually a mould line running in the twine that's almost impossible to get out, but you can get a thread. It's essentially sandpaper thread. That's
quite extreme, really.
Yeah, but apparently it's very good for getting that out. I think it's an American invention because the Americans are crazy for their miniatures.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. God bless our American cousins.
Oh, definitely. There are some fantastic miniature painting artists in the States. Although, in my personal opinion, the European style, the French and the Spanish, are currently the best in the world, with the exception of a guy called Automaton, whose ancestor was a convict. He's an Aussie, and he is
salt of the earth.
Phenomenal. There's a lot of very good Russians as well out there. I unfortunately haven't won a Golden Demon Award.
That's because you've been in semi-retirement for the past several years, however, I suspect, Rob.
Well, I'd like to think so. But if any of the Palace guys fancy, or Primatut guys fancy going to this year's Golden Demon Awards and Games Day, I'll be there, and you will too, won't you?
I'd imagine I will be, yes.
So we'll see you there.
Looking baffled by all these kind of physical objects.
Basically, preparation, whilst being repetitive and tedious, is the most important stage of the miniature, because nothing ruins a paint job more quickly and more completely than bad preparation. So it pays to be very, very vigilant.
And be pure. And behave.
Someone's a 2000 AD fan. So yeah, you've just got to be quite anal about it. Not anal in the bad sense, but anal as in anally compulsive.
Yeah.
You've got to